Hello, my darlings. You know, I got a lot on my mind. If you look in the back, that is a blanket over my window because I'm freezing, and this complex has these cheap windows and they're paper thin. Oh my gosh, I need to put a blanket on me. I gotta stop looking down and look up. You ever notice that sometimes in a video, especially when someone's new, they look down because they're looking at themselves to make sure they look okay. You know what I mean? But anyways, I digress. Okay. There's a few things that I just wanted to talk about. Y'all don't mind a peppermint patty. Y'all know it's my weakness. I went over to Rite Aid and all the Valentine's Day candies 50% off, and normally this would cost $5. And ain't that bad. So I'm just keeping it real. Oh my gosh, blanket looks like crap. Hey, what can I say? I gotta stop smacking. It's very rude. So anyways, these relationship videos I've been watching. Why? Because I don't have a life. I've got the day off, and once I wash my clothes and do what I need to do and line up everything I need for work tomorrow, you know, I feel pretty secure that, you know, I'm all set. I hate running and trying to do things last minute. I can't stand that. So I try to line my ducks up. So anyways, I'm hearing these men and women, and the men are complaining that the women aren't being real as far as their hair, their eyelashes, their makeup, their padded bras. They want women to be more real. And the women are saying they're sick and tired of the feeling of abandonment once the two of them get together and a baby comes out of the union. So I'm seeing a lot of negativity between men and women. And the men are saying, why do you women, I'll just be frank, why do you women have such a big mouth? Why can't I get you to shut up? Why do you have to be so bossy? It's a turn off. Now, I can relate to this in that I was raised, I can only talk about my experience with a single mother, okay, who had to be the boss because it was just her, right? And so when you're a woman and you're raising these children by yourself, now they were married, but he liked chasing other women a lot, and she could only take so much. When it gets to the point where all your friends are saying, I saw your husband kissing another woman in a movie theater. I saw your husband in the bar with another woman. After a while, you just can't take it. So she had to weigh it out. And now she made the decision to be by herself. Now what does that mean? You're going to raise these kids by yourself. You're going to have to be kind of like verbally a daddy. And then your children are raised without a man in the home. From my perspective, a father for a daughter is the first male influence in her life. If he's a good dad, he's training her up to understand how a man should treat you. Okay, that's one of the things. And the other thing with the mouth and the loud talking, which yes, can be very disrespectful, is because that's what you're around. Okay? So you're used to seeing a female at the helm of things, right? A female paying the bills, going to work, cleaning up, directing the children. So that's sort of seared in there. And you're kind of not taught because you don't have the example, with the exception of a boyfriend here and there. You aren't raised with a family structure of a dad and a mom. You're not raised that way. So you're gonna mimic what you're used to being around. And for some people, now this, like I say, this is for some people. Okay, that's how you were raised. You literally are learning how to be in a relationship by just being in a relationship. So here you come with all that stuff in your head as to how things should be. And maybe mom has a negative opinion of men because of the man that she was around or the man that left. I think that's why you have a lot of women like this, that are, from the man's perspective, pushy and bitchy, and you got a big mouth, and you need to tone it down, okay? And then with the men, okay, they don't have, I'm saying okay too much, okay? The men don't have the male influence, they have the female leading them around. And then they learn about how to be in a relationship, maybe from their friends. Maybe their friends have, you know, mom and dad in the home, and they kind of are learning that way. And they also, we're both men and women. We're sort of tripping over trying to figure out how this relationship deal works. You kind of become, in the beginning, until you learn a few things, what you're surrounded by, how you're raised. And I think the possible solution is balance. When he comes home and you're yelling, I've been with these kids all day and I'm tired and we need to go here and we need to do this and you don't do enough. You know what I mean? So he's had a rough day all day, and then he's hearing this. It almost makes him want, because he knows what he's going to face when he gets home, it makes him want to go around the block a couple of extra times. Sometimes he don't want to come home because he don't want to hear it. And then from her perspective, she has been home all day, taking care of these kids, listening to all, you know, just chasing them around, trying to run around, pay bills, clean the house, change the diapers, go off to the school, maybe there's a phone call, blah, 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 you know. So you got these two people that have a certain thought in their head as to how things should be, and then discovering, kind of like on-the-job training relationship type of deal. I think this is where all this stuff is coming from. But I think if we dial it back a little, I'll give you an example in my life with my ex-boyfriend John, whom I came here to marry and be with, right? We were in the middle of a huge fight. And all I know from my mother is, you ain't gonna let no man tell you what to do. You ain't gonna let no man, you know what I mean? You know, that's her side a little bit. And so I always had to have the last word. A man wasn't going to tell me what to do, and he wasn't going to have the last word. So in the midst of a screaming, shouting match, he just, out of frustration, he blurts out, "Go ahead and argue. Go ahead. Go ahead," because that's what you want to do. And I got quiet. And then we sort of looked at each other and began to share a smile. And I learned a lesson, yeah. Even if it made no sense, I had to have the last word. So, on the job training with a relationship and how to deal with a man, I had to learn to introduce these two to each other. I had to. So I stopped talking at him and started talking to him. That's so key. We have to stop talking at each other. Start talking to each other. You know, I used to do this thing where I'd have the remote control for the TV, and I would hand it to him, and he would talk, and whoever had the remote got to talk, and the other one had to be quiet. We were, you know what I mean? This was in a marriage relationship. On the job training how to be a wife. On the job training how to be a husband. On the job training learning how to be a boyfriend and a girlfriend. It can be a little sticky. There's a weird gray area where you want to be right. But if you have children for their sake, and they're over there and they're watching you, they're listening to you, and they're learning how to be in a relationship by your relationship. You follow what I'm saying? So yeah, so this has been in my head. I've been thinking about this for a while. And as far as men wanting women to be more real, sometimes you're watching television as a child. You're watching your favorite artist or singer, or you're looking at other women, okay? For some women, not all. You've always wanted to have a certain feature that they had. So now, in the 2000s, so to speak, you can do that. You can buy that. You can apply that. You know what I mean? But that has to be done with a certain set balance, not all the way out there. I'm of the personal opinion that you can enhance yourself if you want to look better, but you don't take it so over the top that it's overdone. And like I used to do in the 80s, I was running around looking like Bozo the Clown. I was. My blush is supposed to just kind of enhance. I used to have it all the way up to my ear. I used to line my lips with a very dark pencil and then wear a light color. Now, in my opinion, as I look back and talking about myself, I look like Bozo the frickin' Clown because I overdid it. So, in the relationship realm, and in the and ladies, and us enhancing ourselves, it's done with a fine balance, not weighing too much on one side or the other. And you gentlemen need to understand that yes, there are some of us that do like to put on a little bit of makeup and like to enhance ourselves just a little bit. I think a little goes a long way. I think it was the actress Audrey Hepburn. I could be wrong on this. I think it was her that said when she was about to go out the door after getting herself all ready, she would look in the mirror and remove one thing, whether it was a necklace, a ring, or a bracelet. She would just remove one thing. Ladies, I think that men do want us to be a little bit more real, so there has to be kind of a fine balance. We want to look pretty. We want to look good, but there has to be kind of a balance with it. I think men would appreciate that. And to you men, we do like some cologne. We do like when your hair is together. Yeah. I personally like to see a man with a nice crease in his pants. Now that's just me. But anyways, relationships, the enhancing of ourselves, all done with balance. Okay? I want the warring to stop. I want us to start talking to each other and not at each other. And to remember that if there are children involved, they're going to learn about relationships from yours. Okay? I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and take good care.